GNCC champion Chris Borich faced a real challenge at our last event in Georgia, as the likes of Chris Bithell, Adam McGill, and Walker Fowler put the pressure on all the way to the end. But when they cracked, the champ was ready to capitalize and take his second win in as many weeks. Can he do it again today? Welcome to Racer TV's coverage of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. Today, ATV racing, the FMF Steele Creek GNCC in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. Steele Creek Campground is packed with spectators. We got a lot of really fun obstacles for them to watch. Although I'm not sure how fun it is from the seat of an ATV when the tunnels literally force you into the muck. Should be exciting racing nonetheless, and we know why. We have the blueprint from last week. Max's General GNCC in Georgia. Braden Henthorn, a rookie on the number 10, grabs the whole shot. But here comes the established players. The number 4, Chris Bithell, out front early on his new Suzuki ride. Soon followed by defending series champ Chris Borich and Adam McGill, until McGill tags a tree and gives us some beautiful GoPro helmet cam footage. Thank you. Next rider to watch, the number 2 of Walker Fowler on a rail from the back. Challenges Borich for the lead late, but then crashes trying to make a desperate pass attempt. He'd still finish second, and everyone's pumped. The veteran Johnny Gallagher takes third. First podium in 10 years. Let's talk to Johnny G about it.
It's definitely sunk in. I mean, it's been 3 weeks, 21 days today. So, you know, after it's been 10 years since my last podium. Prior to that, everybody keeps asking me, am I going to wait another 10 years? The answer is 21 days. I'm planning on going out there and getting another one today. But no, it definitely sunk in. It was an awesome day. It was a great ride. Was really disappointed with my performance in Florida. I think that added a little bit of fuel, a little bit of drive, and just wanted to go out there and really show what I was capable of and what the hard work we put in over the winter, and it paid off. Why do I keep racing GNCC? Because I love it. There's nothing more fun in the world than this. There's nothing that means more to me and gets me up out of bed in the morning and drives me. I mean, it's when I wake up in the morning, first thing I think about is racing, and last thing I think about before I go to bed is racing. So for me, it's not just a sport. It's not just a job. It's not just a hobby. It's a way of life. I mean, it is. I live GNCC racing, and you know, to have that pay off was definitely awesome.
Truly is a way of life for the Gallagher family. Johnny's dad, the late John Gallagher Sr., a true legend of this sport as well. So Johnny's been at the races basically since day one. Walker Fowler, number 2, he's also a rider that established himself at a very young age in the youth ranks. He'll be one to watch. Don't forget about the likes of Jared McClure, Chris Bithell, Adam McGill. They will all be fast today at Steele Creek. And most of the riders will tell you this is one of the most fun races of the year. We've got great dirt, great terrain, but it's going to get bumpy as well. We'll see who has the right suspension setup and the endurance to go 2 hours. Let's go racing. I'm Jason Wygant to give you the call. And we're rolling here in North Carolina. And a rare hole shot for Chris Borich. Going to pick up some money from Team Woodhead and DeRisi Racing for that. I cannot remember the last time we've seen the number 1 leading everyone into the woods early. Eric Hoyland and Jeff Pickens second and third. And you're already getting a look at the ups and downs of this course. Gallagher running this Rocky Mountain ATV MC helmet cam. Totally different terrain with the elevation change compared to the first 2 rounds, which were relatively flat in Florida and Georgia. And you see how deep the ruts are going to get and how many tree roots are here. This is a lot more typical GNCC terrain than some of the faster stuff that we start the year out on. Borich handling it no problem. We mentioned Hoyland and Pickens right there, the number 4 of Bithell. I think that's Kevin Yoho next on the white and green ride. There is Gallagher fighting his way through the mud, and I believe that's his fellow Yamaha rider, Fowler, right in front of him. And you see just how rough and undulating this course is. Just hard to get a drive going. The machine is bouncing all over the place. It's sliding across those tree roots. Got the fans cheering. Suzuki boys out front now. Borich still leading. Bithell up to the number 2 position. It looks like Yoho has moved up to 4th. There's Fowler. And then it should be Gallagher coming through next. There he is. Some of the favorites toward the back. Still waiting. I haven't seen Adam McGill. Maybe I missed him, but I think McGill is way back in the pack. He's one of the fast runners of this series. Everyone's starting to pack up here as we get into the Steele Creek Bridge and this tunnel system. You really can't go too fast through here. All you're going to do is splash a bunch of mud on you, although the 12 of Pickens is going for it. Trying to get back around Bithell. Then it's Yoho and Hoyland. Fowler. And Fowler, this is actually the best start of the year so far for him. He has come from way back in the first 2 rounds. So being just outside the top 5, he would be happy, except for the fact that Borich is leading. Whoa! Pickens able to make the move on Yoho. They came together, lines intersected. Kind of a scramble right now for everyone to try to get toward the front. And it paid off, actually, as Bithell has taken the lead from Borich. Now, you might be saying, how is Borich a 4-time GNCC champion, yet at the same time has a reputation for never leading the races early? You'd think it'd be the opposite. The last lap of these races is usually where he does his damage. Today he's going to save a lot of energy. He won't have to expend quite as much getting around riders at the midpoint in the race to get himself in position. Instead, all this traffic is chasing him. Hey, there's the 521. That is McGill. So he's toward the front of the pack now as Bithell tries to get away. Now, Bithell spent several years racing at Pan Am as Yoho has moved up to 3rd. Really gelling on this Suzuki this year as he leads them around early at Steele Creek. Stay with us.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Pan Am. FMF Steele Creek GNCC underway here. 2 Suzukis flying in formation. Chris Bithell, Chris Borich, 1-2. Pair of Pennsylvanians. They ride and train together a lot, have always done that through the years, so they're certainly comfortable racing with each other. Kevin Yoho and Walker Fowler rounding out the top 4 right now. Good job by Yoho in 3rd on the, well, I'll just say it, Big Nuts Racing machine. I'll say B&R Racing when we're on the network shows. There is a McGill who's actually moved up around Fowler, and you can see the pace picking up. But no one able to really put much pressure on Bithell. In fact, he's extended it just a bit on Borich. And now it's McGill up to 3rd. McGill is the guy to watch at the moment. He's made a couple of passes. You can see he's picked up the pace. Now Fowler has gotten around Yoho also. Good to see if Yoho can hook on with these guys, stay with them to the end. He's certainly going to learn a lot. This 4-pack, Bithell, Borich, McGill, and Fowler are all no stranger to victory lane. So a guy like Yoho, and you can see that McGill's fired up, pumping the fist, and look, Yoho has fired back. He's gotten back around Fowler, so he's feeling racy today, and every time you just stay in touch with those guys all the way to the end, it makes it that much easier to maybe grab a podium finish, maybe one of these weeks get a win. So Yoho definitely improving his game a few years now into this pro class. Was racing the Pro-Am division not too long ago. No changes up front, but you've always got to be worried about that shark in the waters. Borich just circulating in 2nd. Let's see what the 3rd place rider McGill can do. Can he keep making moves? Can he close up on that lead duo? Indeed. The number 521 is doing it. Now there's a lap rider right there between them. Of course, we have amateur racing on the track at the same time as the pros. Different line selection for Borich, kind of shading to the inside. Now Fowler has closed up on McGill, so 4-rider freight train about to materialize up front here at Steele Creek. Back in the day in GNCC, riders used to take the first couple of laps off, so to speak. They would follow each other around. They really didn't necessarily want to lead the races. They would just kind of learn the track. You can see now very little of this racetrack isn't being raced. They are wide open everywhere. They are hard on the brakes into every corner. There isn't any coasting or cruising at any point in a GNCC any longer. The intensity is at that level, and the fitness is as well. Now, about halfway through, time for pit stops. Borich and Bithell are in, and here is McGill. He's into the Precision Lone Star ITP pits, getting fuel. And how about that? The Suzukis are going to beat him in and beat him back out, and here comes Fowler as well. Things are starting to heat up.
Sometimes you come across something so different, you just have to stop and check it out. The Rocky Mountain ATV MC website has everything you need, from our huge selection of tires, ATV and UTV accessories, and OEM parts, to our online chat, customer reviews, and instructional videos. Our extensive inventory means most orders arrive in 3 days or less. Get low prices, quick shipping, and incredible customer service. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. To show you the highlights of our Can-Am morning race here from Steele Creek. This is where the utility machines do battle, as well as the super senior classes, some novice riders, and the women's divisions as well. Robert Smith leading the utility unlimited machines into the woods. He is also a member of that Big Nuts racing team that backs Yoho, so you see the green trim, similar to what Yoho has in the Pro Division. And Robert Smith won the first 2 races of the year in this class, but the competition was coming today, and from some familiar names, Michael Swift, who's won a bunch of utility class titles in his own right, has now entered the U2 class this season. Had some bad luck at the openers, but he was on the gas today, and along with Jordan Phillips, it was a great show in U2, a 3-rider duel for the win. Now you've also got to watch classes like 4x4 lights and open 4x4, but look at the battles that we had on our hands. Smith and Swift going at it, Phillips in the mix as well. There's Swift taking over the lead, and he would go on to win that U2 division today. So he's got that U2 machine figured out, the Can-Am Renegade. It should be fun to watch that class all year long. A few other shout-outs to send out as we rejoin the pro race. Dave Simmons, of course, takes the morning race overall win and wins Super Senior. And a couple of kids in the schoolboy division, Cody Collier and Wesley Wolf, on fire, 2nd and 3rd overall. Remember those names a couple years down the line. They'll probably be up here in this pro class battling for wins. Still Chris Bithell leading the way here and starting to get into it. There's Borich back there in the number 2 position. There's McGill. And I expect Fowler to come across in 4th. Where is he? Totally different line for the kid on the Yamaha. And then it's Yoho. And you see the way the riders attack these muddy sections. They could go faster through here, as we see the Can-Am of Jared McClure come through. But they want to keep themselves dry. If you get mud all over those grips on the handlebars, it's going to be hard to hold on all day long. The last lap, you just blitz through there, you don't care, but you've got to be a little bit conservative and play it smart. Maybe you could gain a fraction of a second by pinning it through the mud early. What difference is that really going to make in a 2-hour race? You'll lose a whole lot more by being uncomfortable and not being able to hang on. Watching some of the action here, there is Yoho. And now it looks like McClure drawing a bead on him. So we've got a battle for the top 5. So far, no battles for the lead. It has been Bithell on cruise control all day long. He has been in control of this thing. Although even he knows there's no way the likes of Fowler, McGill, and Borich are going to sit there and just let this happen. I like what you're seeing from the kid. Fowler, a lot of different lines. He'll use those to make passes when he needs to late. Although it's one thing to set yourself up in the number 2 position and use those lines. It's another thing to be back in 4th. He's got 3 really fast riders that he'll have to get around if he wants to make a bid for the win. Little mistake from Fowler as they enter the Steele Creek Bridge. They're back out. No change in the running order. But the pressure definitely being applied. Who's in the best position? The yo-yo race, if you're Fowler, what that means is he'll get closer to him, then he'll fall back. He'll get closer, he'll fall back. The gap has been pretty steady between this top 3 all along. Fowler has been kind of bouncing around in 4th. I got a feeling, though, business is just about to start picking up at Steele Creek as we hit the home stretch. Look at Borich a little bit closer, starting to press. And McGill knows as soon as Borich decides to light the afterburners, you better be ready to go with him. And again, a little bit of ground gained, a little bit of ground lost for Fowler. Now they're working their way to the field section. This is where you can make passes late if it's desperation time. And I believe it's already happened. That is not Bithell. That is Borich into the lead. So Borich, just in the tail end of that wood section, has put the number 1 Maxxis Yoshimura machine into the number 1 position. And Bithell now leaning on him, trying to find a line to get back underneath. White flag is out, and Bithell makes the pass. Well, that only puts Borich back in familiar ground, second place as the final lap begins. And look at this, drag race down the pit lane. Does anyone need to stop for a splash of gas? No. It's on here on the final lap at Steele Creek, and McGill's not too far back either.
The Can-Am Renegade 1000 XXC with the most powerful engine in the industry. The Outlander 1000 XT with a redesigned chassis for unequal trail riding. The Commander 1000 Limited, the most equipped, luxurious side-by-side in the industry. The facts say it's the most advanced lineup out there. But the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Watching coverage from the FMF Steele Creek GNCC in North Carolina. Great battle for the lead. Chris Bithell has it. Chris Borich second. Adam McGill third. Now you saw earlier in this race a few attempts to find new lines, fresh ground to make passes. That's what Borg's going to try to rely on now. Does he have a spot picked out to get around his buddy Bithell and steal the win from him on the last lap? Obviously, the race trail is only as wide as an ATV, so you're not just going to pass the guy. Wait a minute. You are just going to pass the guy. That is Borich in the lead over Bithell, so one of those lines that he must have had picked out paid off. And McGill now losing a little bit of ground in this last lap. And now Bithell back to the lead. So they have gone back and forth a few times here in this final lap. Ask no quarter, give no quarter. And now McGill has got himself stuck. He was making a run, I think, to get Borich. He gets high-centered in a rut, and the fans immediately there with a tow rope and a couple of strong arms to get him moving. That's a rider in a different class, a lap down, just showing you how difficult that section is. And now Borich back in the lead over Bithell again. Second time they've swapped it on this final lap. And McGill still pretty close considering that he got stuck in that mud hole. Fowler back in the number 4 spot cannot be happy with this. At one point he was in sight of that lead trio, but they've managed to put a little gap between themselves and him. He's going to need a mistake to get back in this thing. Under the bridge we go. It's the number 1 ahead of the number 4. Bithell getting desperate now, running the left side, trying to find smooth ground. There's a 5:21 of McGill in third. So McGill has put himself back in striking distance, and we know on this rough racetrack, it's possible to get stuck. It already happened to McGill. It's possible to make mistakes. It's possible to make passes. I think the best strategy for McGill right now would be to hope that these two pushing the pace like they're doing right now, look at this speed. Maybe the leaders will push themselves into mistakes. Just listen to the machines. At the rev limiter, wide open through the woods on this last lap, holding nothing back. We're into the field section. Not much ground left. Will it be another patented Chris Borich last lap pass, last lap charge for the win? Bithell and McGill are right there hoping to make it different. But there's not much room left. Borich takes a look over his shoulder. He's right where he needs to be. and it doesn't matter what course, what state, what conditions, or who is leading. Chris Borich always figures out a way to get it done. He's got 2 wins on the year coming in, and he's looking to go 3 for 3. Now we're at the 9-mile mark, about a mile to go. This guy is like the closer in Major League Baseball, trying to get a hit off of him, trying to score a run, trying to flip the order in the final innings is next to impossible. He is so strong down the stretch. He's learned his lessons through the years. He knows you win GNCC races, not at the start, but at the finish. Heck, he even grabbed a hole shot today and gave the lead up. And now he's got it. Into the field for the last time, and you see a little bit more relaxed posture. Chris Borich is as good as it gets in ATV racing around the world. And the man from Sunbury, Pennsylvania is looking to go 3 for 3. Is it too early to start talking perfect season? It's over. He wins Steele Creek. Great ride for Bithell to finish second. He led a lot of laps today. And look at McGill, a donut, celebrating a 3rd place finish. We say it every week. This guy has fun at the races. He knew he had a big lead over Fowler on the last lap as you look at the AMSOIL results. McClure outdueling Yoho for that top 5 spot. Henthorne, Hoyland, Gallagher, and Pickens round out the top 10.
Right at the start, the thing just fired up right away. Got the whole shot, first one in a long time, and it was nice to get out front right away, but I got pumped up a little bit, and those guys were right on me. I made a bad line choice. Chris was right there. He got by me, and then it was just pretty much follow the leader the rest of the day. And it was a 4-way battle there for a while. And, I'm not sure what happened to Walker. He dropped off a little bit. Then it was a 3-way battle, and then towards the end, it was just me and Bithell battling it out. But it was a good run for him. I mean, we were out there having a lot of fun.
And here are the AMSOIL point standings. Borich a perfect score. Fowler still second in the points. But this is going to change quite a bit throughout the year. As you can see, it's very tough to be consistent in the very grueling GNCC racing series. Let's go back and give you a race recap and show you how it all broke down today. This brought to you by AMSOIL. Yes, Chris Borich grabs a hole shot like he said. Not something he's used to doing, and he showed it by getting arm pump and losing the lead to Chris Bithell. Adam McGill shadowed these two for most of the day. Walker Fowler had his runs from 4th, but he's never quite able to get close enough to really challenge them. And then last lap, Bithell and Borich went back and forth a few times, but Borich always has something up his sleeve in the last lap, and so far, no one has been able to figure out his magic tricks. And he takes it another win. 3 wins in 3 rounds this year. We'll see if he can keep it going. We're going to South Carolina next time. Thanks for watching on Racer TV.